You may have watched some of my Instagram TVs about the importance of maintaining healthy gut bacteria for our overall health, keeping inflammation levels down, our mental health. And also I talk a lot about the fact that cortisol, one of our stress hormones, is also largely responsible for us putting on belly fat, because we have 4 times the amount of cortisol receptors around our belly, which means that when we're stressed, we tend to get more belly fat. I have put it to practice myself. I try all these things out. I'm a little guinea pig. I'm a big proponent of the gut biome. Just to balance that, cortisol is an incredibly important part of healthy living. It's anti-inflammatory. When you have something that needs anti-inflammatory, you'll probably be given corticosteroids by the doctor, and that is the same. That's the reason for it. But it's keeping our stress levels at bay that are going to really help us keep our belly fat down, but also have a healthy gut flora. Now, when we do not have a healthy gut flora, that's when we can get things like leaky gut. It's even been associated with diseases like Parkinson's disease, dementia. And I've just been reading some articles in the scientific community pointing again to the importance of our gut health. Now, these articles particularly were sort of referencing carbs and the fact that a lot of people say, oh no, if you cut out carbs, you know, like if you go on to a strict ketones only diet, a protein-based diet, that you will lose fluids and you'll reduce weight. And actually, yes, to a degree, that's true. Carbs do tend to make us hang on to more fluid, but it is only fluid water. It's not, it's not fat per se. When we eat too much protein, as if we eat too much of anything, it turns to fat. So high protein versus carbs, there's not really an awful lot of sense behind that diet, because if you eat too much protein, it's just going to eventually turn to fat in any case in your body, and our bodies can only deal with a certain amount of a certain percentage of each macronutrient at a certain period, you know, at a time during the day. It is important to note that carbs are more effective in the morning than they are in the evening, because they are what give us our energy. They're our quick source of energy. And a lady the other day, I had mentioned diet, the word diet, in a post of mine, but it didn't mean diet as in restriction. It meant diet as in our overall eating. And I mentioned, you know, I replied back to her to say it's not, we don't do restriction. Healthy living is all about balanced eating and drinking, but it's more than that. It's got to be focusing on your sleep, prioritizing your sleep. It's also got to be managing your stress. Stress is one of the, it's a killer, isn't it? We all know it frazzles you, and we're all bombarded with stress on so many levels. Nutritional stress from pesticides that we have absolutely no control over what goes in our diet unless you grow your own. But then what's your drinking water contain? Do you filter your water? Are you lucky enough to have access to a well or a spring, and then you just filter it and clean it? That, you know, have one of those UV unit things. We have to look at the bigger picture. It's not just one or two individual components that make the difference. When you can get good quality sleep, and it doesn't need to be hours of sleep, it just needs to be good quality sleep. When you can manage your stress on every level, so reduce the amount of pesticides that you're eating. If you eat meat, eat organic meat, so you're not having those hormones in your body that you shouldn't have. There was another article I was reading, which was really interesting, that was comparing the diets and the exercise routines of people in the 1970s compared to now. And people's BMI, even following a similar diet and a similar exercise routine as to in the 70s, people have got a much higher BMI, about 2.5, I think was the on average higher, which would indicate what's going on. And they were pointing to the fact it's highly likely that they, you know, in the 70s, there weren't as many, I mean, I don't know this, I've not cross-referenced it, but it seems to make sense that there were not as many pesticides, there was not as many hormones given to cattle. We ate less meat in the 70s. We were probably outdoors more, which meant that we were getting bacteria from the soil, which actually contributes to a healthy gut flora. as long as you're not eating feces and things like that. So, you know, although we might match the diet and also match the exercise level of the 1970s, it's still harder now to maintain a healthy weight. And again, I'm just going to reiterate, I'm not talking about restriction and skinny. Skinny's not healthy either. It's about maintaining within a healthy weight band. That's so, so important. And so when you look at it like that, you know, maybe the fact that we're now exposed to so many more chemicals and pesticides and heavy metals in our water and our air, it could all link down back to our gut, our entire gut health, our gut bacteria. There have been tests done. It's called like a capsule. So it's a fecal transplant. You can either have it up through the nose, down into the gut, or you can, I think, stick it up your bum, because it's in the colon where the sort of healthy gut, the bacteria does the majority of its stuff. So if you're eating probiotics, it's the colon, so the large intestine, where the probiotics actually do their work, which is why it's important to eat prebiotics, lots of veggies, among other things, because they help to feed the healthy bacteria in our gut. But when our gut bacteria is off, it just has implications on so many different aspects of our health. So I just wanted to share that with you. I think it's very easy to think, oh, I must restrict this or I must restrict that one other thing. It's not. It's healthy balance. If you can get your stress under control by exercising, I know I bang on about it, working out, it makes the biggest difference, because it gobbles up stress hormones, makes you strong, it gives you energy. The mitochondria in our cells are our little powerhouses. When we exercise, we're actually fueling up our mitochondria, which then boosts our immune system. It also helps to keep our weight at a healthy level. Get out into nature. Play outside, allow more time for fun. We all have this such busy life these days. You know, we're always doing. How often do we actually sit back and just relax? How often do you lie, you know, maybe read a book for half an hour in the sunshine, or around a pool, or just chill out, you know, go and have a luxurious bath? I know some people do, and that's really great, but the vast majority of us don't. I'm a real busy bee. But I do take exercise is my time for me. I know it's fueling me up well. And then I follow a fairly healthy diet. I love food. I do not restrict. I love wine. I like cider. I love whiskey. I love beer. I don't drink to excess. But, you know, I'm a great proponent that we have to have a balanced life. And your belly fat, it's not just the carbs, it's stress and your gut bacteria. So focus on having an all-over healthy gut biome. I am actually now this isn't about the free group, but I am running a 5-day free sort of cleanse kind of detox. It's going to be plant-based. It's not about restriction. It's also, we're going to be looking at lifestyle, so sleep, stress. I might even incorporate some of my hypnotherapy into it if people, you know, if the people in there require that kind of support. There is so much that we can do, but we have to take action, and we actually have to take responsibility for our own lives. I know that sounds a bit glib, but it's true. You know, if you do not take responsibility for your life, who is going to? You know, it's so easy to blame the health service. It's so easy to blame the farmers. It's so easy to blame, I don't know, the government. Ultimately, we have so much power ourselves. If you're not educated in what you need to do, get educated. If you need support and you want to join my free group, you're more than welcome to do that. Otherwise, just read up around it. You know, do a search, microbiome, healthy gut bacteria, into Google and see what pops up. I have got an amazing lecture that I haven't got the link at hand at the moment, but I've got it ferried away somewhere in one of my digital content management systems. If you would like the link to that, it's about an hour long. It's quite scientific. It is phenomenal. And I was just talking about the capsule. For people, they were doing this test for people who are obese, and they're now finding links between the gut bacteria and obesity. So if you essentially change your gut bacteria with the bacteria of somebody who's not obese, that obese person, obviously with some lifestyle changes, becomes healthy weight again. the implication of that is enormous. And there's this one story where I'm trying to get it the right way around, because I didn't even look at this before I popped on, but it's something that I want to share with you just very quickly. There was a mother and a daughter, and the mother was obese. Was she obese? No, she was slim. But there was something, I can't remember. The mother was slim, but she had something wrong with her gut bacteria. And so she may have had like IBS or colitis or Crohn's, something along those lines. And it was suggested to her that she has a crapsule. And so she chose, quite naturally, her daughter's healthy gut bacteria. But after having received this crapsule, or through her nose, I don't know actually how they did it, the daughter then went on to become obese. Because probably, however her hormones were working, however her lifestyle went, she wasn't obese at the time the mother had the bacteria from the daughter. However, the mother then became obese. And the scientists are saying or suggesting that it's because the gut bacteria from the daughter, although she wasn't obese at the time that she gave her bacteria, the bacteria was such that it developed enabled her to, or resulted in her becoming obese. And the mother ultimately became obese. It's fascinating. I think there's so many studies pointing to the link between our gut bacteria and our mental health and our physical health. So just be aware that you don't want to be looking at individual things. You want to be looking at the whole. You do need lots of vegetables because they're really good for us. Ideally healthy probiotics, a soil-based live probiotic. A lot of the probiotics you buy in the shops, they probably don't survive the trip through the gastric tract. They're also very high in sugar, which is not good for us either. Something like lactobacillus. I'm never sure if it's bacillus or bacillus, lactobacillus. Certain unsweetened live yogurts contain it. That superfood shake I drink every day, that's got it in. And it's also got the whatever they're called, prebiotics. But you can eat lots of vegetables, which are also prebiotics, which will feed your healthy bacteria. So focus on healthy gut bacteria, focus on managing your sleep, focus on managing your stress levels. And you will see it will have a very positive impact on your energy levels, but also how you feel and how you look in your body. So I know I've jumped around a bit on that one, but it's just something I just wanted to sort of splurt out. It was a bit impromptu, but I hope you sort of gleaned the sort of key points from that. But if you do want the link to that lecture, let me know and I'll send it through to you. It was absolutely fascinating. And they do talk about the link with, Parkinson's and other diseases like that are a result of leaky gut, because of course that causes inflammation in the body. And there's inflammation in the brain is associated with Parkinson's and dementia and things like that. So let me know if you want that lecture link. If not, have a great day and look after your gut.